Hey, Alex, welcome to the Beyond the Tools podcast.
Hey, Crystal, thanks so much for having me. I've been pumped for this.
Me too. I feel like it's a long time in the works, and I'm just excited because we always have the best conversations about marketing and about the trades industry. And I'm really excited to dig into everything today.
Me too. I know it is about time for sure. So,
So, Alex, I think it's always good to hear a little bit about your backstory and give some context of how we even got here. So, what makes you passionate about the trades and how did you get into this industry?
yeah, I'll be honest, I really have no background in the trades. I grew up on a small farm in Lexington, Kentucky, and grew up in a family of small business. So, like my foray into the trades has really been more from the small business side of things. Um, my dad's my small business hero. I grew up like in his office answering phones and doing stuff like that. And then fast forward, went to college and uh, worked a corporate job, and I just had the small business bug and did kind of the insane thing to like save up a year's worth of living expense and then just like piece out of the corporate job with really no strategy. In hindsight, like no idea, no strategy, no, like, not recommended. um but found myself like making some dollars serving the local small business community, mainly doing marketing and building websites and all this. And I just found that I couldn't serve everyone. Like, it's hard to really understand the dentist compared to the HVAC company compared to the lawyer. And so um, I just kind of looked at the clients that we served, and I had a number of HVAC clients, and I freaking love working with these guys and gals, and we got a really great result for them. So I just said we're gonna go all in on HVAC, and so basically the rest is history. That was 3 years ago, and since then, you know, of just going all in. Like, I've really become so passionate about helping small businesses. Right, we don't work with like private equity or things like that. Our mission is to positively impact the lives of 100,000 small business families, and we're doing it through the trades, which has been super cool. Like, we just love working with the trades. It's a blast.
I love that. And it definitely comes across. I know in all our conversations you're jazzed, which which is
Oh,
how
I'm
you
super. I
should be.
know. Yeah. It's cool. I mean, it's like trades are the unsung heroes. Like, it can be a thankless job, and we talk about just the structure of education and like, I don't know, we have all these conversations in the trades about that, well, there's such unsung heroes. And yeah, it's so to be a part of that community is really special.
And I love what you said there about, it's hard to learn all these different industries at once. And that really is the beauty of focusing so deeply is as marketing experts, as consultants, you get to see inside so many businesses. And through all those years of experience that you've had, I'm sure you're spotting things all the time that, a successful contractor is doing that another one isn't. So I'm curious, what are some of the ways that you've seen contractors, clients that you're working with, that they're leaving money on the table or losing out on easy, quick wins?
Yeah. To be honest, like that is one of the linchpin differences between the contractors that we see just thriving, and those that, especially in the last year or two, we've had some strong headwinds in the industry, like that are just struggling to kind of repeat last year's numbers. Is the difference in mindset, where like the most successful contractors are like, we have gold, like literally in this mine here that we just need to extract and get out. Let me give you some specific examples. So uh like, we can A B this. Like, contractor A is someone that says, oh, like, we're never getting enough leads, marketing is not working, and that cycle repeats and repeats, and they move from different marketing companies and like still feel that pain, and it never really resolves. Whereas contractor B has an actual strategy in place to properly measure answer rate. So make sure that we're answering 100% of the leads that come through, measuring book rate. Okay, so let's make sure that we're actually booking the bookable calls that come through at the highest possible level. 50% or higher would be the standard. Okay, let's make sure that once we get those jobs booked, that we're actually hitting KPIs around an average ticket. Like, are we hitting at least a $1,500 average ticket? So that way, the jobs themselves are worth it. Are we enrolling a high percentage of these people onto a maintenance plan that we're then able to treat that as a ticket back to the kitchen table and serve them again and again and not have to continue to pay marketing dollars? I mean, you said I was passionate about this, and it is true. So let me take a breath. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the data is one of those places to start, and, zooming out, having that big picture of what are your KPIs and seeing where the gaps are.
Yeah. I mean, like the most successful contractors will hire a marketing or a growth partner, and they'll say, hey, we, the contractor, are 100% committed to the success of this relationship. And it's a two-way street, right? Marketing, like we need opportunities, like the phone's got to ring, but then we also, like, the contractor needs to take maximum advantage of all those opportunities. And, we have clients that sometimes want to spend more on marketing, and we're like, hold on a second. We're looking at a list of, 100 open estimates to the tune of $1 million that we need. Like, let's start by putting an open estimate follow-up strategy in place, right? Let's do that before we're spending more money, or even outbound calling customer lists, and just working the gold that you already have. Like that's where we find that the contractors that win at the highest level, like, they have systems in place for all of that.
Yes, absolutely. Alex, give me 2 seconds.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
you're good.
Silly dog. Okay, so we're talking about contractors winning at the highest level and what they need. So, Alex, tell me a little bit about the contractors that you work with, and just to get an idea, I guess, of like size. And then I want to talk about the starting point, so we can get into that next. But yeah, who are you typically working with?
Yeah, I would say our average client is probably doing about 4 million a year. They do HVAC and likely plumbing as well. Like, they're either currently multi-trade or moving towards multi-trade. They're majority residential, and they're typically in like a mid-sized town. They're not in like a very rural, remote area, and they're not in like New York City. That's kind of our sweet spot, who we typically.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's say somebody calls you up today, they need help with their marketing. What are you looking at first? I know you touched on this a bit, but yeah, like, take me through what are some of the things that you look for to figure out where to start when it comes to their marketing.
Yeah. Well, we, like, anyone that talks to me, like, we pretty much play a game of 20 questions, because I got to get to know, like, what's going on, right? So first things first is, kind of what stage are they in? Because we have, startup stage, then we have, you hit $1 million, and then it seems like 3, 5, 8, 10, and we can go beyond that. But those are some like critical milestones where, like at startup, it's like you're just trying to build your customer list, and then once you hit 1 million, it's like you have somewhat, maybe a 1,500, 2,000 customers plus in your list, and you're somewhat established. But it's like, how do we recruit? How do we scale? Like, bring in more team, and how do we know that there's going to be enough jobs for those new people? And then you hit maybe the 3 to 5 million, and then they're looking to add multi-trade. These are just kind of like roughing these checkpoints. But so really curious what stage they're at. We typically don't work with with contractors that are doing under a million annual, and it's mainly because like I'm a big believer and it's not only about having the right strategy, but you gotta do it at the right time. Like if you implement $100 million strategy into $1 million business, then everything breaks immediately. So um you know that uh so that would be the first thing that we're really looking for. Second would be just like operational soundness, like, hey, who answers the phone? If they don't answer it, who answers it then? Tell me about your maintenance agreement, using a price book, or like we just want to get some kind of like baseline. Hey, are we going to break things if we throw marketing into the mix and like
Mm.
really increase the job flow? Those would be the first couple of things. We and then like, but that's not even talking about the marketing side of things. Like what will we actually start looking at then? So
Yeah. No, that makes sense. You need to make sure that some of those fundamentals are there. So, okay, so and I think you kind of got at this a little bit earlier, but just to make sure I'm clear, like what metrics need to be healthy before marketing can work? I know you talked about booking rate as an example.
right, yeah. I mean, it's sometimes surprising to me where that sometimes these metrics are not hit by contractors. I think it's just because they're not tracking them, or what have you. So like we try and keep it really simple. First things first, answer rate, right? So like forget booking the call. Like we just got to make sure that at least, well, I would say 100% of the calls, Crystal, get answered. Like that would be the ideal, but at least 97%. We got to make sure that we're not just straight up missing calls. Book rate would be really critical. We're targeting a 50% book rate across different platforms. We're targeting a $1,500 average ticket. If you have those in place, then you're ready to scale marketing, because cost dollars to make the phone ring. But if a contractor knows, hey, like I'm gonna book every other one of these calls, like if they're booking 50%, and then they're gonna get $1,500 on average, and they're gonna convert, let's say, uh, at least 20% of those new customers into a maintenance member that they can then serve
Mm.
long term. Like then the marketing obviously starts to pay for itself, because we always track, like we did some research and looked into just how much money does the average homeowner spend on HVAC service and equipment, and it's $30,000 over the course of their lifetime. So
Mm.
that's a real shift in mindset for a lot of contractors, especially under, let's say, 3 million, where once you start treating every phone call like a potential $30,000, jumbo check, well, it'd be like jumbo check, right? And
Yeah.
then the processes have to change. We have to invest in the training for the CSRs so that they answer the phone and have empathy, and ask questions and collect information in a way that is serving the caller and actually gets them books in, overcomes common objections, like people that want to follow up with you later, or they have pricing concerns. Like it's crazy how some some contractors could easily unlock $1 million from their business just by investing maybe 3 grand or 5 grand into like some CSR training, just
Yeah.
like, and it goes back to just getting more value out of what you are, the opportunities that they're already getting.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm curious about the average ticket piece in particular, because I know when we've chatted before, you were talking about looking at that with clients and coming up with strategies to increase their average ticket.
Yeah.
So talk to me a bit about that.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you just have to have a strategy in place. Like we have a really neat tool that allows us to track all of our clients' average tickets, and we've seen it as low as $550 and as high as like $4,000+ and obviously that you're talking about two unrecognizably different businesses. And so like this is what I talk about as being really the dream state. Like, it doesn't start in the field; it starts in the office with the CSR. So the phone call comes in, hey, my heat's out, or this is what's happening, whatever, right? That CSR is you know, again, leading with empathy. Oh man, like, gosh, Jenny, in February, and South Dakota, like, hey, come on, we got to get this fixed for you. I'm clicking away on the keyboard. Let me collect your information. And okay. All right. Yeah. Based on what you're telling me, yeah, we can get you scheduled tomorrow, but no, we got to get you in today. Let's get you in today. Okay. We're going to move some things around, really serve that customer at the highest level. And then, say, by the way, I put a note in here because John, your technician that's going to come out and get this fixed for you, I'm thinking there's a way that he might be able to save you some money. We have like a cool comfort plan that oftentimes in your situation you wind up saving money. I just put a note in here to make sure that he mentions that to you. So just don't forget to talk to him about that. Okay, cool. So CSR is actually priming the pump for the technician to come out. Now the technician comes out and, oh, this is the issue. And, you know, by the way, and don't call my boss and tell him I told you this, but we actually have this comfort plan. And when you join it, like, we apply it towards today, and you get savings and you get extended warranty. And then, and it's just this through line from the moment that the customer calls in to the moment that the technician arrives. It's like throwing the ball for the technician to catch, and like having a plan in place. So yeah, there's so many go-tos. So that's selling the maintenance agreement, right? And then I tell well, in terms of selling like indoor air quality, for example, which I think should be, I would say a job's not been successful until the technicians talked about indoor air quality. Like, no matter what, why are we not talking about indoor air quality? Or if you're a plumber, like water purification, like, these are things that matter to everyone. And usually I get the feedback again from from some contractors, like, oh, our technicians, they don't want to sell, they don't want to do whatever. And it's like, okay, no worries. And then I share a quick story about my life where, I grew up with asthma, really bad asthma, horrible allergies, sinus infection every year. Ended up having to have like reconstruction surgery on my nose to get it all fixed. And it was like a week of just horrible pain and tons of money and all this kind of stuff. Anyways, I always tell my clients, I'm like, and what's funny is not one freaking HVAC techs ever said, hey, anyone in the house have spring allergies? Like, it's February as we're recording this. Now's the perfect time. Hey, your daughter does? Oh, let's go do a quick test and see, how much pollen's in the air. Maybe we check her bedroom. Would that make sense? Okay, we go check it. Oh, here's the test popped high. And, did you know that there's actually something we can do about this? So she's not just like breathing in that horrible, polluted, pollinated air. And just having these scripts and these stories and these go-tos where if you mention indoor air quality, at every single job, you're going to sell more indoor air quality products.
Yeah.
So I could go on and on. Same with water purification. Like, if you offer plumbing, then, or if you sell whole home water filtration, bringing in like little water tests into the house and testing at every job. Right. Again, it starts with the CSR. Hey, by the way, I'm going to make sure because, I would say we're going to make sure that we spend an extra 5 minutes and test the purity of your water while we're there, because we've just been seeing a lot of issues. It's no cost. It's just going to take an extra 5 minutes. Is that cool with you? We just add that on at no cost. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Like, no cost. Great. And then, the plumber comes into the house and is like, yep, we got everything finished. Now we just got to do your test. So let's grab, 2 glasses from the cabinet. we're going to put a bottle of water in one, we're going to put one in the sink, we're going to test both of them, and we're going to say, yeah, it's probably fine, but we just like to be sure, that the water's fine. And then all of a sudden, the color's changing on the sink water because it's actually got it's like the yucky water. It's like, oh, well, let's give it a couple more minutes. It's probably fine. It's probably not going to get worse. And then it's getting worse, and then you're like, oh man, like what are we going to do about this? So anyways, like they seem like small things, but that's where we see contractors again go from the less than $1,000 average ticket to the several $1,000 average ticket. And you just do the math, right? Like if you're getting, let's say, 100 jobs booked, and you're only doing 1,000, or you're only doing 500 per job, then you're getting 50,000. If you're doing 100 jobs and you get 1,500, you're doing 150,000 with the same jobs, same marketing spend, same opportunities, same staff. Like we triple the revenue and we probably 8x the profit.
Absolutely. And I love that whole piece about having the CSR kind of plant that initial seed and set it up. It also makes sense from a personality or skill set standpoint. Obviously, I'm generalizing here, but if you've got a CSR, they're good with people and they can handle that conversation well, which is going to make it a lot easier for the technician who maybe not as much of a people person to be able to have that conversation because it's been set up so well for them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, and it makes it to where the technician isn't like having a conversation for the first time. Like it's not like a surprise at that point, and yeah, I'm so passionate about this because I hear all the time, our techs don't want to sell and our CSRs don't want to sell and all this. It's like, okay, no worries. In this case, me with my story, right? Just let Alex just suffer and be totally out of commission for a week and have his wife totally be like, having to take care of him. And, it's like, yeah, don't worry. You don't want to sell. That's fine. Like, it's just not congruent with the mission of serving the community. Right. Like
Absolutely.
I had no idea that there was even a way that my HVAC company could like purify the whole air in the house. I got one of those little, small air purifiers in my bedroom before I knew all this. And like most people with allergies, maybe they have that. Those would be your best buyers because then the technician just goes, "Oh, so you just stay in your bedroom all day? Like what happens when you leave your bedroom? Oh, did you know that there is like actually a way you can take that, like that portable thing, you just put that sucker on your entire HVAC system, it just cleans the whole house. Like, wouldn't that make more sense? Like, oh, I had no idea." So
yeah, that makes total sense. So obviously, as their marketer, you're going above and beyond in terms of looking at the process after they capture a lead. So tell me about what you're doing. You get that sorted, you're collaboratively working with your clients to nail down everything that happens there. What are you finding is really working well on the front end now from a marketing perspective?
Yeah, we're like really meat and potatoes. Like we have a bunch of different services that we can offer, like for those that are really have all their ducks in a row and are like ready to invest in it. But man, at the end of the day, it's like have a great website that converts really well, right? That's its only job, is when your prospective customer lands on the website, like make it really easy for them to call you. It's like, check, okay, we got to make sure that it's showing up on Google, particularly in two places. Number one, the local service ads. It's the very top location. It's like still a criminally great ROI, a fantastic place to be in. And then over time, you want to invest in showing up in organic search like SEO, and that's where some of the most qualified buyers are going to be. And then Facebook and Meta is a great strategy as well. Like generate some awareness and get in front of people before they're actively looking for, you know, before the heat goes out, right? We want to make sure that they actually know your name. So we're investing in that. And we just think of it like a funnel, right? At the top of the funnel, it's awareness. We got to make sure people know who the heck you are. As they move down the funnel, now the heat's out, now they need you. Are they going online? Are they finding you? Do you have great reviews? Then they go to your website, makes it really easy for them to call you. They call you, and now we're back into the conversation we were just having around, the CSRs, jujitsu's the call and like has all the scripts and knows what to do. So yeah, I mean, that's really our core strategy.
I feel like you've probably said this, but I will ask the question directly. In your view, why don't more HVAC companies have that standardized system and process from the CSRs to the technicians selling?
Yeah, I think good question. There's always more urgent things. I would say if you're a contractor listening, you want to know if this is a problem for you, like listen to at least one recorded call per day, or listen to 10 on Friday, and when I say that specifically, like the calls that come into your CSR, just, set a little kitchen timer for 20 minutes and listen to the calls. And it'll become painfully obvious. I mean, that's a hard exercise sometimes as the owner. And it's like, well, the CSRs, it's not their fault. They're just never told what to do. They were told answer the phone and book people when they're ready to book. They weren't told, here's how you have a conversation. And so we even give our clients, like, we'll give them call scripts and, to hand to their CSRs. And it's just, we've seen client of ours that go from like a low 20% book rate to, a mid 40% book rate. And they're like, oh my God, the marketing is working great. And it's like, well, the marketing is working, but to be totally honest, like, you guys are just taking more advantage of what you're getting and avoiding spending more money, so I would say that would be like, listen to those calls. And then we're seeing more and more companies that are really winning at the highest level. They're putting recorders on technicians in the field and positioning it in a way of, hey, we want to be able to coach you, our technician, to be able to make as much freaking money as you possibly can, to put your kids through college and, tie it back to whatever their goal is. And it's like, hey, this is what playing at, Acme Air looks like. So, and then you get that data and you go, oh man, cringe. Like, man, they're not having the right conversations. Let's put in these scripts. Let's test it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that also goes back to your original point of having the data will reveal where the gaps are.
Yeah, 100%. Like, if you're not answering at least 97% of the calls, forget everything else that I said. Like, just get the calls answered. And then if you're not booking at least 45% of them, forget everything downstream of that. Like, just get 45% of them booked. And then if you don't have at least a $1,500 average ticket, then that's your next problem. And you just fix those in that order. And it's like the business can't just help but print money.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, I feel like this was probably one of the most tactical and practical conversations we've had on the show in a while. So I really thank you for breaking all that down. I feel like this feels very approachable for people who may be stuck or not really understanding why their marketing isn't working.
Yeah. Help your marketer, right? Like, put your oxygen mask on before serving others. And like, literally we've helped $10+ million companies do these same things, right? It's just like, it doesn't have to be we're horrible at this or whatever. It's like, just awareness precedes change. You start looking at the data, your numbers, and you start improving them. Like, it's simple.
Yes, I love that. So I know that our listeners are going to want to connect with you and learn more. So what's the best way they can do that?
Yeah. So head on over to hvacmarketers.com. And well, actually, and I'll just go ahead and if anyone has a specific question about what we've talked about here, my phone number is on the website. So shoot me a text. Like I love to hear these stories of, hey, I implemented this thing and, had this result. So I'd love to hear from you.
Amazing. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the book that is behind you, staring at us in the face here. Tell us
Yeah,
about your book.
you're so sweet. And then this right here, I got, this was one of the best gifts I ever got. So this was, this is my family all like sarcastically reading the book. So that's been fun. Yeah. So
That is the best thing I've ever seen.
is hilarious. Yeah. Yeah. The book's called HVAC Lead Maximizer, available on Amazon. It really goes more into the marketing execution side. So oftentimes for companies, especially those under a million, like we still want to be able to serve. So that's a great starting place. Like use that book kind of like a guide more than like a read it front to back, and just like look at the table of contents, figure out what you want to implement and read it. But that's super kind of you to mention.
Of course. And Alex, we'll put all those links in the show notes as well for anybody listening and want to check out more about you. But thank you so much. It's always a delight chatting with you.
Oh, same with you. Thanks so much. This is such an honor to come on your show, and I appreciate all that you do to pour into our community and just give. Like it's such a blessing to be on this show with you. I'm really just, you're the best.
Huh, I was just going to say you're the best. Look at us.
Oh, you're good.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.